So let's talk about tonight's game, and let's talk about the prediction special that you have at 3 o'clock. Is it predicting tonight's game, or what exactly does the prediction special with Peter Schrager at 3 p.m. on ESPN entail?
So every year when I was on Good Morning Football, I would bring out this Super Bowl prediction with great pomp and circumstance, and I've been very accurate. I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I had the Bucks going. I had the Chiefs all these years, and I came to ESPN. I said, I kind of liked the flavor of that. Can we put a group together and can we do a special around actual official predictions? And it's not just a Super Bowl prediction, Pat. You got to tell us your 7 teams in the AFC and your 7 teams in the NFC. Seed them out and let's go. And guess what? When you do that, there's going to be a lot of fan bases that say, hey, wait, you said all offseason we were going to be good. Why didn't you pick us? It's easy just to say every team's going to be great. Now you put your money where your mouth is and your name where your heart is, and I have got my 7 teams in both conferences, and I have my Super Bowl pick, which I will unveil at 3 p.m.
Okay, I can't wait to see that. Who all is doing this with you? Just you? Who's signing up to get their shins bashed by?
That's exactly what it is. It's like, it's not pleasant. Like, I was going to ask you guys, I'm like, there's no win to doing this, but here's the group. We got Jason McCourty, who's been through this wreckage before. He worked with me on Good Morning Football. Scott Orlovsky, he said he's going to do it. He doesn't know any better.
Born in the dark. Yeah, definitely. I would love to do that. Let me piss off how many people? Yes, I'm in.
That's it. And then Field Yates is smart. I'm like, let's go with him. And he'll say no. He didn't say no. He's like, yes, let's do it. So Field, who is maybe the nicest guy on the universe, is going to do it and is going to find some hate online after he doesn't pick everyone's team to make the playoffs.
His hair, though, is going to be tough for people to hate on him with how he looks right now. He is truly phenomenal. Cannot wait to watch that, see all the predictions from everybody, and see who they pissed off or omit. Let's talk about tonight's game, Shregs. How do you see this evening going? Obviously, you talk to a lot of people. We know that whenever things get close to actually happening, that's when you have the most information. Okay.
And
go ahead.
Go on.
No. I was going to say, I was going to give you credit and flowers for draft night and everything. About a week before draft night, you might not have all the answers. Draft day, you have all the answers. Before kickoff day, maybe don't have all the answers. How everybody feels. Kickoff day feels like you have it all. Feels like you don't try to rush your shit. You just say, hey, when I get it, I'll have it. What are you hearing about tonight? What are your thoughts on NFL season kicking off as a whole?
I so appreciate that. It's why I don't do a mock draft in December. It's why I don't make my Super Bowl prediction until about 3 hours before kickoff, because I like to see everything and I like to know. I will say this.
Yeah.
As much as this network and every other network has been destroying Jerry Jones over the last 2 weeks for this trade, and maybe rightfully so, the Cowboys don't feel like their defense is going to be 32nd in the league. In fact, the Cowboys feel pretty darn good with their defense, even without Micah Parsons. Now, there might be egg all over that face of theirs, but I have heard a lot of people in that building tell me, you guys are underestimating what Dante Fowler can bring, what Sam Williams can bring. We drafted a kid in the 2nd round out of Boston College who can rush the passer. There are several different voices who feel like this Cowboys defense might be okay without Micah Parsons, and this isn't going to be the worst trade in the history of the NFL.
There's a lot to pull from if you're shoddy. And Eberflus, obviously, his first year back with Dallas. And obviously they got stars on their team still, but they've been disrespected heavily. And the point spread, 8.5, is certainly just the latest of the disrespect that the Dallas Cowboys can try to spur some motivation from. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Shregs, when you're looking at this Cowboys offense, I feel like Dak has kind of flown under the radar throughout this offseason, and I think he might be poised to have a big year. What do you expect in this offense tonight? And ultimately, can this offensive line hold up? Because I feel like they have so many weapons on the perimeter that they could do some great things.
That's going to be the big question. They've got such a young offensive line with all those first-round picks that are going to be playing, whether it be Guyton or Smith and, of course, Booker now. Like, you've got youth all over that offensive line. If they can hold up, this is going to be an explosive offense. They have continuity with Brian Schottenheimer now as the head coach. He was the obvious play caller last year when he was doing it with McCarthy. And then now you look at this and you add George Pickens, who has a carrot at the end of the season of you can get a monster contract like you just saw Terry McLaurin get or you just saw DK Metcalf get if you have a good season. George Pickens is in the final year of a contract. They did not renegotiate his deal. The rap on him is that he is a bad vibes for the locker room guy. So far in Dallas, he's been great in the locker room. He goes out there and he takes some of the pressure off CeeDee Lamb. There is a great reward for him, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And Dak was second in the MVP voting 2 years ago. So, AJ, I'm with you. Like, I don't know where this thought of Micah Parsons was the entire Cowboys' identity. I know that thing was ugly and it got weird. And when they traded him, it was like, well, the Cowboys aren't doing anything. They don't feel that way. And that's all I can say as far as the vibes coming out of Dallas right now.
And Jerry said, we got 4 first-round picks over the next 2 drafts. Don't think I won't just do something right now. Stay tuned.
Well,
Look now. Stay tuned. We'll see how it looks on Thursday night. Say we need another pass rusher. Maybe I go hunting. We got 4 first-round picks.
Pat, did you watch the Jerry doc, or no?
I've seen portions of it. I have not gone all the way through it. Darius is watching it for a second time. Yeah. Everybody in here is telling me. Peter Berg said it's the greatest sports doc that he's ever seen.
It's up there.
I mean,
really?
There is. There's a lot of people that really, really love it that have been telling me I need to watch it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try. But I want to really commit to it before Sunday, because I think.
Yeah. Now that.
The season is starting, I have to get into it, so I'm going to try.
I think a lot of what you're seeing the last 2 months with this Micah thing is explained in this documentary with how this man lives his life, how he goes about his business, and how when the haters and those who dismiss get louder and louder, it makes him want to zag even more. It's not stubbornness all the time. Sometimes it is ingenuity, but sometimes it is stubbornness, and sometimes it is, I'm going to do it my way, through hell or high water, and it worked early on. Question is, at 82 years old, is this trade going to be their undoing or not? They don't think it is.
He was $50 million in debt, and he was still trying to get more money. Yep. Jerry Jones is going to sit in the pocket. I think that is a trait that he certainly has from the parts that I've seen. But yeah, I think it's all been on display, and even on the red carpet of the documentary out there on Netflix, he goes, if they're not talking about something, I'll give them something to talk about. It's always nice to have the Cowboys in the conversation, which then leads to Cowboys fans saying, Jer, maybe at one point when you were trying to build the business, that was good. Now we are an established business. Let's try to win the Super Bowl. Well, their fans voted allegedly on The Athletic. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schrager, we have a Hopometer article, and this was taken a survey basically from people who do surveys online, and it's basically just optimism for the season and then pessimistic
for the
season. The good teams, I assume, are great, but is there anything for the bad teams that you got here? Not the Colts, because we know, hey, the Colts are obviously, they're going to figure it out. They're just upset with the Believers. But what about these teams down there? I think you see the Cowboys at
Cowboys
3.
are third lowest. I mean,
that's not good.
Go ahead.
That's ridiculous. Cowboys are a good team. They're going to compete this year. I see 2 other teams that I'm very high on that are awfully low on this thing.
Yeah, the Finns. Your Finns are up there. That's what you said last time.
My Finns are 82% in the tank. I mean, come on. The Miami Dolphins bring back just about everyone on offense. They have a healthy team for the first time. They had 100% participation in their offseason program. And they get their 2 great veteran defensive players, Bradley Chubb and Phillips, back from injuries who didn't play last year, in addition to Chop Robinson. I don't know why everyone's so down on the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins. I'm high on the Dolphins. The other team, a couple notches above them. Why would people be down on the Bengals? They did everything you asked them to do, and they finished it, and they got it done before the start of the season, and they're finally healthy. So Dolphins and Bengals, I'm very high on, despite what this athletic confidence-o-meter
Yodely. Yeah, people are up there. Now, I do have to add in, because one of the only classes I went to was a sociology class with Professor Nancy Feather, and I appreciate the hell out of her.
Shout out. Nancy
Feather. Shout out.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
She was great. She was awesome. She was a G.
Massive class or like small 20-person lecture? What are we talking?
Pretty big class. I'm sitting like left hall there.
Professor Feather.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
raising the hand or passive?
Me, I'm not in the room. Yeah, I'm hands down like this, and I'm just I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm learning. I'm trying to learn. It's not my world. I should not be speaking in here. I would like to understand what's going on here. I don't go to a lot of classes. I've heard this one's interesting. I would like to hear you speak. She was very interesting. I appreciated sociology as a whole. I think it's helped me out as I've kind of moved on. But one of her first classes was about polls being absolute bullshit, basically. She was like, you just need to understand that polls are absolute bullshit. If you were to go and survey 100 people here in Morgantown versus 100 people in Pittsburgh, and then you just said you surveyed 100 people, don't you think both those people would have complete opposite answers? So you always have to think about who were the people that were filling out the poll. Like who was going to The Athletic, reading The Athletic, and then deciding to vote on this. Like you have to categorize the human who is the poll, and then realize that's how these humans feel about the poll. But I don't think you can just dismiss it completely. I don't think you could just say like, nah, those people don't represent the rest of the fan base. I do think this was a pretty good take on how basically
the teams make sense.
The vibes of the team.
Yes.
I do think it was very my natural reaction is normally polls are bullshit. That is normally my reaction. But whenever I looked at this, it was like, feels like you could certainly find a significant group of every fan base that does feel this way. So I think it's good.
A feather corollary. What is it called? The corollary? What? Ty Schmidt's smarter than me. What is it? What do you call it? Like
corollary, yeah.
Corollary. I'm going to go with the feather corollary here, and I'm going to say this is all BS. It's all before the season, and every year, Pat, we get turnover of 4 to 5 different playoff teams, and we never go back and revisit what the August vibes on ESPN Talking Heads shows were, right? Like, to me, I look at the rosters, I look at the continuity between the Bengals and the Dolphins. I would also add in that conversation the Cowboys, that with the exception of Micah Parsons and Zach Martin, they pretty much brought all their stars back and they're healthy. So I would feel better about those teams. And as for the Broncos, look, Sean Payton's one of my closest sources. Sorry, gave it away. One of my favorite people. Sean Payton's been doing a victory parade all offseason about how good they are, and it seems like everyone just went with that. And it's like, well, if Sean Payton says to the local media that we feel pretty good about Bo Nix, he must be going to the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to put the pause signal up there just for now and say, let's see it before we go all in and say they're 100% optimistic they're going to dethrone the Chiefs this year.
AFC West obviously loaded. Broncos everybody likes. I think your interview with him in the Schrager Hour didn't hurt anything. I think it went over pretty positively. Congratulations on the Schrager Hour being announced and happening.
New podcast.
2025, new podcast is the right time. That is the right time to do that.
I felt like there weren't enough out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just this kind of little niche thing, the podcast, where the marketplace hasn't fully been. So I figured that's what people need, another football podcast, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, Schrager, anything you do, we're happy about and we're watching. And listening, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But I do appreciate that, like, there was a big announcement for another podcast.
Look at the photo.
For another podcast, yeah. It's like, I appreciate Schrags. Anything you do, you're going to be great at. We want you to know that. But you interviewed Sean Payton. It was good, and I think it was super positive. But that AFC West is crazy. Chiefs-Chargers Friday night. What are your thoughts going into that? Obviously, Harbaugh is looking to institute his full culture. Andy Reid and the boys are trying to get back on track after getting blown out in the Super Bowl on the biggest stage. They're still the AFC champions. They're still the best in the AFC. They have been, will be. Everybody has a sour taste in their mouth because of the Super Bowl. Is that what you're thinking whenever it comes to the Chiefs? And
yes.
How do you feel about Friday night?
I think people forget that, Patrick Mahomes last year for the majority of the season was throwing catch with Sky Moore and Justin Watson and, a beleaguered offensive skill set positions that he usually had loaded rosters with. And that's nothing against those guys, but DeAndre Hopkins being acquired midway through the season and, Kareem Hunt being taken off the scrap heap in week 3 and being asked to start and play big roles, that's not ideal. I think this year you come in and you got a fresh and can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still on. You're still clear. You're still very clear.
We've got a fresh, a fresh Hollywood Brown, a rejuvenated Isaiah Pacheco who's coming off the injury and is apparently looking great. Like, I think they feel very good about their team. And just because they lost to the Super Bowl, to the Eagles, and lost that way, doesn't mean that they're suddenly off a cliff. They still won the AFC. That said, this thing is a wild card. The fact that it's being played in Brazil, and we don't know the playing surface, and we don't know the travel situation, and we don't know it's the ultimate neutralizer when you go to a field in a stadium in a country that's 12 hours away. Like, the NFL is promoting this international stuff big. They want this to work, and it's great. This is not Arrowhead or SoFi. There is a giant variable, and whatever team adjusts quicker and can make a couple plays early on and get their footing, I think is going to make a big impact in this one.
You would think back-to-back years for the Chiefs probably helps them out a little bit, right? Having to go on a road play, do something like that. You would think it would help them. They seem to be pretty jovial. They understand that they are representing the NFL everywhere they go, and I appreciated the fans last year. The place was packed. So let's see if it happens again. Let's see if it happens again. All right, last question here from a team you're also very close with out there in Los Angeles. Go ahead, Tone.
Yes, you are, Schrags, and it was reported this week that Matthew Stafford is fully healthy and ready to go. What do you think the sigh of relief is with that Rams team, especially with now they have Puka and Devontae and that offensive line running, everything that team has. What's your vibe coming out of Los Angeles from that staff?
If Matthew stays healthy, they've got a shot to win the whole thing. And that's the huge if. And as much as he's healthy week 1, we don't know if he's going to be healthy week 4, week 10, week 15. This is a long season, and people know now that there is a guy who's got back stuff going on under center. So that is going to be the topic of the day for them every time they go and take the field. Can Matthew make it through the week? Truth of the matter is, Jimmy G was out there all summer while Matthew wasn't, and was lighting up defenses too. They did the intercamp practice with the Cowboys. I told you guys, Jimmy G looked incredible during those few days, and they feel like they've got a really capable backup. But to your point, Puka, Devontae, Williams, you got Tutu as your speed guy. They feel like the rookie out of Oregon at tight end, Ferguson's going to be a star. Like, they feel very good about this team and this offense, and the defense exceeded expectations. So it's really, to me, just who's standing at the end of the season. And if Stafford's under center, I wouldn't want to face him.
All right, you want to give us a couple little sneak peeks at some predictions from the prediction show at 3 p.m.? AJ, don't you think we should maybe get a couple little predictions?
Yeah, maybe one or two, I think, Schrags.
Yeah, let's go, Schrags.
AJ, a couple predictions. Number 1, I don't have the Detroit Lions making the playoffs this season.
Wow.
All right, Schrags.
What happened?
Whoa.
They're the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Wow.
Number 1.
Had 100 injuries to their
Why do you
entire.
hate 'em?
I was
Why do you
playing
hate the Lions?
defense.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I love him. I think that NFC North is loaded. And I think the loss of 2 coordinators is not being discussed enough. Those 2 men are absolute G's at what they do. And that's Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, arguably the 2 best coordinators in all of football last year. And I think we look at a healthy Aiden Hutchinson. We look at a healthy, a couple players. We say, okay, well, they're back. I think there's going to be a steep drop-off without those 2 men calling plays on offense.
He's dying on Detroit.
Wow.
no.
Did not see that
They're
coming.
going
But this is why we do the prediction show, because it's easy just to say, here's my Super Bowl teams. I like the Bills and I like the Rams.
piss off Detroit. Yeah, number 1 seed in the NFC. You take big swing. And welcome to ESPN, Schrags.
Hope you don't see FCDC.
Welcome to ESPN, Schrags. Yeah, take the hat off. Let them see you in your eyes. Let them see your eyes. All right, do you have another team you want to piss off, or a team that you want to make happy, or anything like that?
You want another piss off one? I'll do another piss off one.
Jeez.
Yes, love it.
Oh my God, Schrags. You just told Detroit that they're the same old Lions.
He's wrong.
Not the brand new Lions. That were the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. Okay, they're not going to make the playoffs. Dude,
15-2. 15-2.
that's Peter Schrager. That's Peter Schrager's prediction show that you can
It
watch
is
at 3.
so easy to go on any network and just pick the chalk. It is bold and it is fun to take a risk. And I'm going to take the heat from the Lions fans. I hope I'm wrong.
Of course.
Sure.
Now,
Good spin.
another prediction. Another prediction. Here we go.
From the office of Peter Schrager via Mike Foss.
The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the playoffs, and Joe Burrow will be your league MVP. Let's go.
Oh, wow. That's a big prediction. Paid a lot of money to
Hold on. Boom!
Okay.
Crank that soldier boy,
I
dog.
like that. Hey, maybe a little bit more of a build-up